Greetings, everyone. My name is Davina Liggins, and I've come to you today to talk about potassium and how it's very important to balance sodium. But before I go there, I wanted to remind everyone about what Healing Made Whole is all about. That's the company that I started, and the whole premise is to try to provide some education, knowledge, and understanding on how lifestyle, what we do, our day to day activities, and over a course of our life impacts symptoms, disorders, and diseases, how it can lead to that, or how we can make some changes to bring about longevity, health, and balance. And so, again, the whole point here is to provide knowledge and understanding that impacts the choices that you and we both make, um, that lay the foundation for our lifestyle. So that's what Healing Made Whole is all about. So now I want to get into potassium and the importance of potassium and how it balances out sodium. So for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about sodium and how too much sodium impacts disease and imbalance in the body. So, potassium is another essential mineral, and it is needed we need to consume it in our diet in order to get potassium. So, it's essential, meaning that our body cannot make it. Potassium levels in the body are regulated by healthy kidneys, and I stress healthy just because diseases in the kidney um, can impact the balance of potassium. So we really need healthy organ systems for everything to work. So that's the point of discussing this. So every cell in the body needs potassium. Every cell. Some important functions of potassium in the body is to support normal blood pressure. And this is how it balances sodium. So it reduces the effects of sodium on blood pressure. And we talked a lot about that in previous videos, and it eases the tension in the walls of blood pressure. And as a result, there can be a lower blood pressure. It impacts the fluid balance. It's critical for normal heart um, beat and heart function, and critical for muscle contraction and nerve impulses. So potassium and sodium balance. So particularly for potassium, we need 4,700 milligrams of potassium a day. That's for a healthy adult. And reason why I say healthy adult is because, again, depending on the function of the kidney, you may have restriction in potassium intake. Most adults consume less of this. And here's how this relates to sodium. So sodium, we need no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day. This is for adults. We definitely need sodium. We don't want to go less than 500 milligrams of sodium a day. However, this is the key. Most adults, as I said before, consume 3,400 milligrams of sodium a day. That's where the problem lies, because potassium intake should be about 3 to 4 times that of sodium. And if most people are taking in too little potassium and they're getting too much sodium, this is where that imbalance in the body can occur. And imbalance in sodium and potassium consumption, and I underline consumption here because this relates to lifestyle. This is what you and I can readily and easily modify. This is lifestyle habit. So, imbalance of sodium and potassium consumption contributes to high blood pressure, increased risk of cardiovascular disease and stroke, and much more. So, we really need to have that balance of potassium and sodium. And the answer to all of this is quite simple in terms of lifestyle habits, and that is to lower sodium intake to recommended levels and to increase potassium rich foods in the diet. So I just want to talk about that a little bit more. The best way to obtain sufficient levels of potassium is by eating a whole food diet. That's fruits and vegetables. And to remove as much processed foods from your diet as you can. And as we all know, processed foods are devoid of potassium and contain a lot of sodium. And again, that um, increased sodium, very low, if any, potassium in these processed foods is really throwing off that balance. And you can see how disorder, disease, and symptoms and such can really come out as a result of that. Here's a good resource that I have here if you're interested in understanding the amount of potassium that's in foods. It's a link here, and I'll put it in the description box. It's to the dietary guidelines. It's very helpful. It breaks down potassium content in milligrams for a whole host of vegetables, fruit, dairy products, and meat. Now, I want to put in here a caveat. You can buy potassium supplements, and I just want to caution people about potassium supplements, because if they have kidney disorders or even on certain medications, this can impair um, normal potassium levels, because impacts of all of this on kidney function. So hyperkalemia is a rare disease. This is high potassium levels. It can be dangerous, or it is dangerous depending on how high it gets. So this is very important. The best way is just to eat a balanced diet. So I took some snapshots from the dietary guidelines, and I wanted to show that to you. If you can see that here, let me make it a little bit bigger. So here you can see beet greens, fufu. If you're familiar with fufu, it's common in West African countries. I'm happy to see it's on the list, and it's quite high. There's Swiss chard. We have spinach. These are up to 900 to plus 1,000 milligrams of potassium a day. These are on the vegetable side. Also, potatoes and yams are very high. You can see on the list. And you will also find at this website, again, these are screenshots or taken from the website, the Dietary Guidelines website. And you can see that meat here is listed from clams to goat to different types of fish, to beef, deer, etc. They range in about 300 to about 500 milligrams of potassium per 3 ounces. And you can see what's really striking here is that the vegetables have higher levels of potassium than the meat. So I just wanted to point that out. So I wanted to just go back to this slide here and really drive in the importance of that balance. We have to have that balance. And the easiest way to do it is to try our best, me included, to cut out as much processed food as we can, cook at home, and prepare our dishes from whole foods, good quality meats, and enjoy our dinner and our breakfast and our lunch, whatever you're eating. That's the best way to do it. So I hope this was helpful to someone, and really encouraging and inspiring that, yes, understanding that lifestyle impacts what happens to our body. But because lifestyle does that, that means we're in control. That means we have the ability to do something about it. So you all be blessed. Have a good rest of your day. Take good care, and I will see you the next time.